Hello to members and friends of St. Francis Xavier Parish in Missoula. Good to see you again, even if only in this virtual way. As you know, I read a lot of poetry and I tend to pray with it a good deal. Every once in a while I'll read some lines that, they haunt me for sometimes weeks or even months. And I've been reading from Amy Gorman's recent collection entitled Call Us What We Carry. In this case, it's the last two lines of a poem she entitles Pre-Memory. And these are the last two lines. All we know so far is that we are so far from what we know. All we know so far is that we are so far from what we know. Now, if you find yourself being curious about those lines, we're in the same boat, because I spent a lot of time thinking about them. And so I want to offer a couple of passages from the scriptures, one from the prophet Micah and one from the Gospel of Luke, which is the cycle we're currently in. This is a very well-known quote from Micah. It may be quite familiar to you. The prophet says this, "What is good has been explained to you, O mortal. And what does God ask of you but to act justly, to love kindness, and to walk humbly with your God?" So according to Micah, that's what's asked of us as human beings, to act justly, to love kindness, and to walk humbly with our God. And in the passage from Luke, very famous passage, it just precedes the story of the Good Samaritan. And this is the passage. Just then a lawyer stood up to test Jesus. "Teacher," he said, "what must I do to inherit eternal life?" Jesus said to him, "What is written in the law? What do you read there?" And the lawyer answered, "You shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your strength, and with all your mind, and your neighbor as yourself." And Jesus said to him, "You have given the right answer. Do this, and you will live." So this is my interpretation of the lines from Gorman's poem. All we know so far is we are so far from what we know. So what do we know? We know what God asks of us: to act in a just manner toward everyone else, to love kindness and to be kind, to walk humbly with our God, perhaps remembering all the things that we don't understand. Or to go to the New Testament text, we are to love God with all we are and all we have, and we are to love our neighbor as we love ourselves. As Jesus says in another place, this is the whole law and the prophets. And if we do these things, he says, we will live, which is another way of saying we will be able to enter more fully into this human life that we all share. We know these things, don't we? But looking around at our world, we seem, to use Gorman's language, so far from them, are we not? All we know so far is we are so far from what we know. So all these lines I take as an encouragement to each day consider anew our call as disciples of the Lord, as people who want to follow him, to be with him. And we do that by treating each other in the way God invites us to treat each other. So one last time, these lines from Gorman's poem. All we know so far is we are so far from what we know. So all we need to do is make our daily attempt to make some progress in that direction, to more and more live out what we actually already know. God bless you and keep you.